Good morning. I don't know if any of you live in Florida, but we are not used to turtlenecks and sweaters. It is absolutely freezing outside. And I should not be freezing because I grew up in Boston. But when you move to the South, you adapt real quick. So I just wanted to jump in here and just talk about my 5 things I wish I knew before I got into private practice. Hindsight is always 20/20. So hopefully this information is helpful for you. So let's just jump right in. So the first and foremost, I'd say if you're thinking about private practice, I would absolutely, whether you're in grad school or you're working already, and you're post-grad and you're just trying to build hours for licensure or whatever, I would just say absolutely think about having a part-time or full-time job while building private practice on the side. I know that it's a big stress to worry about building hours, to worry about finances. So I would just say, if you're nervous about it, that's kind of the best advice I would go with, is don't build from the ground up and just kind of quit all and then just start jumping into private practice. There's a lot of things that I recommend you learn and kind of navigate and try to explore before even jumping into that. So I would just say you can always work part-time at least, or full-time, whatever's your jam, whatever life whatever's gonna work with your schedule, and try to build your private practice on the side so you can kind of build your foundation and kind of get things moving in the right direction. So that's number 1. Number 2 is look around for subletting options. I know when I jumped into private practice, I wanted to go full force. I spent quite a bit of money kind of upfront getting everything organized and, kind of perfect to get things started. You don't need to do that. If I could go back, I would absolutely sublet. It would probably cut my rent costs in half, and I'd be able to build quicker. So just start small and grow over time, rather than just putting a lot of money into something and then growing really slowly and then just being a little bit overwhelmed and feeling this pressure to build a practice quickly. So sublet. The third thing I'd say is to absolutely 100% get educated on business essentials, marketing, branding, business essentials. SEO, if you don't know what that is, you need to learn about it. Google Ads, how do Google Ads work? Google Analytics, to give you some data and information about how things are flowing on the internet. Google Business, setting up a Google Business account, establishing a website. All of these things I would say are absolutely essential to start the process, and again, you don't have to do all of these things at once, but one by one, trying to get these things in order as far as learning about them, how they function, learning about if you are going to do it on your own. Are you going to get somebody to do these things for you or to help you with it? If you have any friends, calling on friends who might be in the world of online marketing and branding and that kind of thing, they can help you and help guide you along. But absolutely essential. I used actually a platform or a program called Private Practice Workshop, and I found it extremely, extremely helpful. The clinician who runs that workshop is also on YouTube, so I will try to link that so that you can have access to that. But just type in Private Practice Workshop or find somebody who is doing courses on educating therapists about all of these essential business skills. It will help you significantly, and your practice will grow a lot faster by having all this information and being able to synthesize it and do it step by step. I know it can be overwhelming, but it's so worth it because you'll be able to fill your practice quicker. And fill it with the right people, the people that you feel like would be your ideal clients, the people you'd like to work with. The fourth thing I'd say is to make sure that you develop an ongoing list of resources. So one of the things that I failed to recognize kind of a few years in was that I was, when a family would call or when I would be working with a family and they needed something else, some other service that I couldn't offer, psychiatry, a certain evaluation, I would do the research, kind of connect with people, but then never put it on this kind of list that could grow. So I would just say start with some sort of like a Google Drive of resources and maybe kind of categorize into different tabs on an Excel or something like that, and just start to develop resources. Every resource that you find that is really really helpful, and then ask families if they found it helpful. Find out if it was a good resource, if they would actually recommend it, and put it on your list, and just keep that list growing. And then it's just great too when you connect with other clinicians that you can share those resources, because you always want to make sure that you're giving people good resources and referrals that you feel like you would use yourself or for your family members or your children, etc. And then the last essential wish I knew was to network with other clinicians. Private practice can feel like you're on an island in the middle of the ocean alone. And especially because if you saw in a previous video, I basically shared that I unfortunately jumped into private practice right when I moved to a new state and had absolutely no resources. And I didn't know any therapists in the field in my local area. So that was really not helpful. So I would absolutely say network with other clinicians, and not network to gain clients. That should not be the goal, because that will naturally happen over time, but more focus on not being an island. Connect with other clinicians, go out to coffee, go to luncheons, go to monthly supervisions. Just get established with local therapists, and you'll feel a lot better. And it might actually lead into a group practice opportunity, or they might know somebody who's looking for clinicians or whatever. It's just a nice thing to do, and you won't feel like you're on an island. So those are my top 5 wish I knew before starting private practice. Hopefully that's helpful, and I hope you have a wonderful day.